The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. Walt Disney. DC Tribe, Josh Thomas, so glad to have you here. I want to talk to you today about something that's really important to me. And, I feel like I open lots of podcasts that way, but, a lot of stuff is really important to me. But today I want to talk about the fact that the past is not real. I'm not going to get too philosophical on that, although I could. And I really do enjoy that topic. But I want to talk about the fact that it does not matter what you did. Instead, it matters what you do. We get caught in these traps, these logic loops, these emotional loops within our lives, within our relationships, within how we're taking care of our children, within our failed marriages, or that job that we lost, or that gig that we didn't win, or that deal that didn't come through. And we start thinking, damn it, if I had only X, whatever that may be, if I only did this, if I only did that. And then we get into relationships, in situations where we hurt someone, we say the wrong thing, we do the wrong thing, or we don't do the right thing. And they remember, I remember what you did. This is what you did. Look at what you did. And it's almost always used when somebody says, look at what you did. It's like a weapon. It's like a weapon that's used against you. They've weaponized your past. But here's the thing. You have no defense against it. And that's kind of why it's a popular weapon. Human beings, animals, plants, fungi, we're all looking for some sort of strategic advantage. And what better strategic advantage than to use a weapon to which you have absolutely no defense? Look at what you did. Well, first of all, I can't see it. It's invisible because it already happened. I can see the results of the things that I did, but I can't see the thing that I did because it no longer exists. And once you realize that, it kind of takes away the power a little bit. It doesn't matter what you did because it's already done. And if it's already done, what is the point in wasting any more time and energy on it? Well, that's done. You can dwell on it, but all you're doing is consuming energy that you could be consuming on something else. No, in fact, it does not matter what you did. It matters what you do. So what are you going to do about what you did? What are you going to do now? Let's say you were a deadbeat dad for the first 12 years of your child's life, and you weren't around, and your ex hates you for it. Look at what you did, our child. And it's not your ex's fault. It's not your child's fault. It may not even be your fault, although you got to assume responsibility for your own actions or inactions. But in that situation, it really doesn't matter what you did, because you could stay there in that past, in those decisions that you had made at some other point in your life, that other version of you who made those decisions. You could stay there if you want, or you could start doing something different right now. It matters what you do. I promise you, it matters. I had a moment, speaking of dads, where I was really angry with mine. And that's another story for another time. I may have already told it on a previous podcast. I don't know. I don't remember. But I was so hung up on what he did. And what he did as in what he didn't do, because he wasn't ever there. He didn't really ever show the effort or commitment or, anything to show me that he cared about me or that he loved me. And I was hung up on that, and I let that consume me. Look at what you did, Dad. For so long. until somebody finally slapped me out of it and said, hey, it doesn't matter what he did. What are you going to do now? And that's when I realized he's right. It doesn't really matter. What matters is, how do I handle it now? How do I own this situation? How do I make it right? How do I change it? How do I create my own reality, my own present, so that I am capable of my own future, instead of being stuck in the past of whatever it is that I did? So I want you to think about this. If you're stuck somewhere, if you've got people around you that they feel like they have something on you because of something you did in the past, fuck them. They don't own you. They don't own the present you. They can have the past version of you. That's all right. You can have it. I don't need it anymore. It has outgrown its usefulness. I no longer need to be under your thumb. I no longer need to feel guilty or ashamed. I no longer need to feel indebted to you, like I owe you something because of some decision I had made at some point in the past, because I'm no longer that person. I'm not worried about what I did. I'm worried about what I'm going to do about it. And that's what we really need to focus on as human beings. That's going to do it for today's episode. Nice and short and sweet. If you or somebody else in your life is consuming themselves with something that you did or they did, let it go. Stop focusing on that and start focusing on what you're going to do about it. In the meantime, make sure that you subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss another episode. Got a bunch of really cool stuff coming up.